Hey guys, it's Truth Seeker coming back at you with another episode here on Truth Seeker Nation. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having an excellent day. Hope it's been treating you well. It certainly has been treating us well. We just, kicking back, puffing on some trees, plotting on our enemies. Nah, just kidding. We just, there's no plotting required, it's all is required is just, sitting back and just smiling and showing your face and just, speaking the truth, all right? Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Truth Seeker Nation. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for, listening to what I have to say. And, despite, Lucifer and the gang, being, of course, more than salty that we're here today at Truth Seeker Nation, we're here. Yeah, there's going to be no changing that. There's no, despite on the very nice and beautiful eyes they like to send to me. Maybe we need to, erase beautiful out of there, We already know what we're leading to with that, with the good old evil eyes, right? But it's okay. Because, guys, we're going to get into some more nitty-gritty details today on, some of the topics that we like to talk about. We're going to be, we talk a lot about the occult on the channel, you know what I mean? We talk a lot about, we mentioned about witchcraft and all this, occult, right? Magic, all that kind of stuff. Your typical, you may think of it as, ugly witch with the hat and the broom, right? That's the typical thing that these Masons have put everybody, made everybody to believe that is what a witch is supposed to look like. When in reality, ladies and gentlemen, look at Taylor Swift. Look at Beyonce. Look at some of these, people that you wouldn't even think are witches that literally admit themselves that they are witches, right? So they are, guys, a lot of times with, witches, it's not what you typically would think. You know what I mean? This is why it's always crucial, these wolves in sheep's clothing, man. They'll be hiding amongst your ranks and you not even realize it. You know what I mean? They'll be, right around the corner, waiting to just take a bite out of your foot, a bite out of your ankles, you know what I mean? And, it's these individuals you got to be careful of because, some of these really true sick-minded individuals, like I said, we already delve into what some of these individuals do when they get into fields with not the intention of helping release the pain and burden off of one's soul, but with the intent of dragging their soul down to hell and putting their soul through multitude of pain and suffering when it's not required. Okay? And the thing is that these sick-minded individuals will laugh in your face and they'll talk extremely positive about you, or I'm sorry, to your face, right? And put you in this illusion or make you think, oh yeah, we're best friends and all this and that, and I would never do that, right? But guys, let's go ahead and just pause and let's take a deep dive into that. So the same individuals that, you know, come at you with words like, um, I would never do that, always gotta raise, questions. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, guys, these people, and not everybody, right? But a lot of people that practice the occult that don't have good intentions for people around them. There's a lot of, sneaking around, shystery, conniving type of behavior. You know what I mean? A lot of behind the back talk, a lot of, hiding behind stone walls and talking and not talking and saying this shit to one's face. Because a lot of these individuals like to manipulate and do a lot of this stuff from the shadows, That's what a lot of these occultist practitioners like to do, Um, and that's what I say, guys. You know, even a lot of times when it comes to with tarot readers and stuff, guys. Again, it's all about who's the user behind the tools, who's operating those tools, right? Who's the user, you know. Um, it's all about just being careful, and some of these people who have embraced the devil, even on tarot, man, it's, again, you got to be careful, and before you say, oh well, you shouldn't delve into tarot anyways, it's demonic. Listen, we already talked about, just don't hate on the cards, don't hate the tools, okay? Look, it's all about who is using them. It's all about what the intent is. You know what I mean? So, again, man, it is a very thing to be careful and aware of. Again, guys, a lot of these fallen ones, right? That's what we're going to call them. A lot of these fallen ones, they want to present themselves as, like, holier than thou, They want to present themselves as, like, somebody that's good on the mic, somebody that's a good smooth talker, draws you in, man. This is what these individuals do. You know what I mean? And that's what I said. Looks can be deceiving, man, because I'm going to be honest with you. We're just going to straight up lay it on the table. All right? Some of these demonic beings be having some clean ass setups to make you have that illusion of, oh yeah, we're a happy-go-lucky family. But dude, this is why you got to be careful, man. And when you go on YouTube, you see some of these guys, they be looking like they professional and talking about they can't be, this is a holy place and everything. Hey, man, this is why you have to be extremely careful, man, because, guys, what you have to realize is that demons read they go through the Bible too. They have biblical studies, right? They know how to lead souls away. That's their whole purpose. This is why, again, the Bible it can be used the same way as tarot. These individuals can use this in a negative way to twist one's mind and program an individual to behave a certain way, especially if it's been 20 years in the making. If you grow up in a religion, if you grow up going to church, you know what I mean? You probably had experiences as such, what I'm talking about, of growing up feeling like having this extreme anxiety, like, oh fuck, I better do this or else this is what's going to happen to me. You know what I mean? And see, that's all what they want you to draw you in, man. They want to make sure that you stay in place. They want to, lock your seatbelt snug and tight to make sure that you don't leave. And they make sure to instill it in you. Hey, if you do that, it's gonna be Armageddon and all this other kind of stuff. Again, man, it's really heavy indoctrination. Look at what the definition of indoctrination is. Alright? It's a very real thing. Lucifer knows how to play on Father's creation on certain aspects of Father's creation, right? He plays on the deep it's on the mind. Guys, the mind is so powerful. This is why a lot of individuals go target you psychologically. Not all the time does something look like, brute force of like, oh yeah, we are attacking you right now. No, you know what I mean? Sometimes, guys, these same motherfuckers out here that's making things, that's weighing with this on waging war on the psychological mind. Okay, they know what they're doing. It's very precise steps that's being taken. You know what I mean? This is why I completely understand if you don't understand what I'm saying when I say Masonic owned multimedia propaganda platform, right? Because first of all, what the hell is Masonic owned? Well, we talk about it all the time, guys. The Freemasons. You know what I mean? All of these companies, not every single one, but chances are a lot of the companies that you know and trust are going to end up being owned or going some way leading back to a company that owns another company that owns that company that's the top guys. That's how it works, man. You can't look at it as like, you know, it's always cutting the head off at the snake. You have to work your way up. It always leads back to ultimately Freemasonry, right? The whole teachings, Aleister Crowley, when he wrote or his Book of the Law, right? Look it up. Aleister Crowley, Book of the Law. Very wicked individual, okay? And when you see a lot of these guys in the music industry, they make they are very crafty with their devilish crafts. Let's just put it that way, okay? And they use music in such way. Again, guys, music is an awesome tool. It can be used to uplift an individual, bring so much joy. It's badass, okay? But again, tools can be misused, okay? These individuals will use music to their advantage sometimes. They will use music to influence and target that psychological mind, target that subconscious mind. You know what I'm saying? And this is why it's always good to just be aware and be aware of what you're listening to. Is what you're listening to bringing you positivity and happiness? Is that uplifting you? You know what I mean? Is some of that is some of that is some of this shit, like, you guys got to pay attention to how it makes you feel, man. It's all about the feels. Gotta make sure you pay attention to how it's making you feel. The same with the food you eat, man. A lot of times you may brush it off as, oh, I'm just not feeling good today. Well, let's dive into what did you eat? You know what I mean? It's stuff like that where you gotta take in consideration, and a lot of times it just gets brushed off. You'll go and get a whole fast food meal, and then 2 hours later, it's all absolute bowel disaster, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. Just pay attention to not specifically that, but you know what I mean. If you eat something and then you're just not feeling up to par, just keep in mind, hey, what do we eat today? You know what I mean? What's going on? Because again, we always talk about this bullshit that they fucking put in this food. This is why I say, man, a lot of these Masonic-owned food companies, a lot of these companies that you just naturally, by law, or so you think, by law, just by default, trust. When in reality, these motherfuckers should not be trusted one bit because of what they're putting in this food and letting millions of people buy off the shelves on a daily basis. And it's something that, one can easily brush off. Oh, it's not going to kill you. Yeah, of course you could say that. Oh, it's not going to kill you. But is it overall good for your health? You know what I mean? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Oh yeah, it may not kill you. I mean, like, geez, man. I mean, like, just like a lot of stuff may not kill you, but there's a lot of other the same shit. Is that good for you? You know what I mean? Like, is it genuinely good for you? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you could like that's almost like going and banging your head continuously into the wall and then saying like, it may not kill me. I mean, like, dude, no, don't do that to yourself. You're doing a major disservice to yourself. You know what I mean? Don't don't do things like that, you know? But again, a lot of times, guys, you know, with this huge play and psychological attack on the mind of humans, right? It's a real deep thing that you have to take in consideration because it's nothing to mess with. You know, a psychological attack can be one of the most really extreme, hard things to get through. All right. And it's not a joke, you know. It's a real thing, guys. And keep your mind open to it. You know, the enemy is not going to want you to know where they are coming from. Okay. They're not gonna let you know, hi guys, today in Masonic School we're going to let you know that we're doing a psychological attack on your mind today. No, that's not how that works. People are going to do these evil things behind the scenes and of course play in your face. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood while behind the scenes making horrible days in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that you take into consideration, man. A lot of these people, man, they go around in their trolleys and acting like everything is all good and oh yeah, we're all one big happy family, while at the same time in the inner workings tearing that family from the inside out, slowly, bit by bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's all, guys. Keep in mind, and this is why it's important to be aware. And when people talk about this stuff, it's not just for any reason, you know. We were watching something today, and you know, it was a Masonic owned multimedia propaganda platform. It was Fox News. We came across today in search of more 9/11 truth. Okay. Because Samael has just completely lied to everybody about that, okay? But on Fox News, there was an individual, I don't know his name, but he was somebody on there, and it was a specific agenda that was being pushed on that platform. But, you know, it was him putting people down and really being disrespectful to people asking questions about 9/11, particularly trying to weaponize the fact that, oh, you shouldn't be asking. Basically what he was saying was, how dare you question this? You're a psychopath. You need to be put in mental asylums. The typical response to a conspiracy theorist, you know, a CIA term, right? And, you know, he was saying how much of a disrespect it was to the people that lost their lives in 9/11, right? And if that individual were to stop, I mean, and I know he's not because he's part of the platform, he's pushing a specific agenda, right? But when you stop and think, nobody is putting the people that lost their lives down from 9/11. Okay. For one good example is, again, guys, look up 9/11 Press for Truth. These were wives that were widowed in that scenario. They lost their husbands in 9/11. Okay? These families that have lost their husbands, they banded together. These wives, they banded together. And they were asking questions. They were trying to get down to the bottom of it. It was a mad disrespect. They felt like it was a super mad disrespect of the fact of how the government was hiding it. They couldn't get any answers. They were trying to honor their husbands and try to find the truth. These are people that lost their husbands in 9/11. Nobody is saying that, oh, that's all fake and they didn't lose their lives. Nobody is saying that. We are saying that the whole sham should have never happened, and it was a huge slap in the face to those people that didn't need to lose their lives from the get-go. That's what we're saying. It's these people from the top that are orchestrating these events that gain a massive fucking benefit out of it, and they use these people as pawns, as sacrifices, man. This is what people are pissed off about. And see, these Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms, they will twist your mind and discourage you from even asking any questions and trying to pin and reverse engineer shit to try to make you feel bad for even asking questions, when the same people that he tried to weaponize and make you feel bad about, they got shit on because they were asking questions. They got a slap in the face because they were asking questions. They couldn't get any meaningful discussion or meaningful answers because there were individuals that continuously slapped them in the face and stopped them from finding the truth. Okay. So this is why you have to be careful of these platforms, okay? Because a lot of these guys that are, like Tucker Carlson included, man, that's what I'm saying. Look back 10, 15 years ago, a motherfucker's talking about looking down on people for asking questions about 9/11, man. Just asking questions. Motherfuckers don't want you asking questions, man. A lot of you individuals, man, probably don't even know anything about Building 7. The same building involved in 9/11 that collapsed. I'm guarantee you don't even know what Building 7 is. You don't even know that was a building that collapsed, but no plane hit that. There was no plane that hit that building. That just collapsed. They just want you to believe that this is all a terrorist attack. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you spend the time and looking at that whole scenario, shit ain't gonna be adding up. You got the same Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms. They were existing back in those days too. Okay, Fox News, CNN, go back. It's not gonna be in HD, but it's going to be there. Okay, this is 2001, 2002, the beginning of the 21st century. Go and look at the news. Look at the fucking news broadcasts. Alright? It's still visible. Doesn't mean that it's not in HD. Don't mean that you can't read it and see what's going on. Alright? Just had to throw that in there. You know, why is platforms such as BBC literally telling you that Building 7 has collapsed when behind them the building is clearly still standing? What are they, fortune tellers? How the fuck are you reporting on something when the building is clearly still standing in front of you? How are you reporting to millions of people that this building has collapsed when it is behind you, in fact, still standing? You just lied. That's a lie. It's not adding up. The same fucking reason why the U.S. had excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. The same fucking reason why the U.S. Air Force had ample amount of time to respond to these so-called airplanes that they said were hijacked. Alright? Look into it, man. Don't just bend over backwards and let them wipe your ass. Ask questions, man. They want to give you the soft rub and be like, it'll be okay, but like, it's really not. They set that whole thing up, man. Trump, your boy Trump, played that part in that shit too, man. Look at it. Look into the stuff, man. Look into some of the shit that he was involved in with that predictive programming. These cats that you think they are on your side are in fact not on your side, dude. It's the same reason why more than 9 out of 10 people believed in that back in those days of JFK and the JFK assassination. We watched a whole 3-hour documentary delving into the whole nitty-gritty, alright? And look, man, back in those days around the 60s, guess what? Found out that 9 out of 10 people almost 100% almost guaranteed that the CIA were the ones that killed JFK. Alright? The CIA. The same ones that created conspiracy theory to discourage their citizens so they can continue operating in the shadows and doing all this bullshit without people realizing that they just discourage any kind of questioning, right? Question, the story that is given, and you don't accept it. Oh my God, he's a conspiracy theorist. Like, I mean, sure, you call what you want, but we're just a good soul asking questions. You know what I mean? And getting to the truth of the matter. Because a lot of times the media, these Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms, know exactly what is going on and what is going on behind the scenes. It's what they don't tell you that is so dangerous. This shit goes all the way back to World War II, man. From the fucking 20th century. Dude, ask yourself, why in the fuck are there American railroads going right through Auschwitz? What the fuck? Why? What? And you do some research, look into it. Why in the world are German-built machinery and some Jeeps? Why in the fuck when you lift the Jeeps up and they see that they were made by Ford during the times of World War II? I bet you didn't learn that in school. I almost guarantee you didn't learn that in school. You didn't know that Henry Ford fucking manufactured Jeeps for Nazis. Okay, this is what I'm saying, guys. You gotta look into this stuff and keep your mind open, man. You didn't know. I bet you also didn't know that Coca-Cola also advertised to Nazis at the time around World War II. Coca-Cola. These are all American-owned business companies. American industrialists profited off of World War II. Okay, they made a killing. This is all about Novus Ordo Seclorum. American dollars. The same reason why still to this day you have $65,000 of taxpayers' money. Taxpayers. Let's dive into it, man. Taxpayers. This is American tax dollars. This is what your supposedly your tax money is going to. $65,000 of taxpayers' money to fly pizza and hot dogs on planes. Guys, look. Before you think, but let's dive into it. You're probably thinking, what in the fuck? Pizza and hot dogs? Look, guys. You guys got to look into what pizza and hot dogs is. Okay, good soul. If you really resonate with what I'm saying, you already know what the code names are with these, sick controllers of this world. You already know what they got going on. Okay. Now let's look at it this way. First of all, let's be mythbusters right here, okay? And let's ask you, and let's see if this makes sense to you, good soul. All right. Why in God's name would an individual stack a plane full of actual pizza that you can eat and hot dogs that you can eat? What the fuck is going on? Look, man, that doesn't make any sense. Look, and this is taxpayers' money. $65,000. You don't believe me? You don't even know what I'm talking about. Look at the emails with Barack Obama. Okay? Look at the emails. Look at these guys, man. You guys are aware of Hillary Clinton. You guys are aware of the scumminess that's going on behind the scenes and what's being puppeteered in the shadows. Okay? Motherfuckers don't want people to know, man. They don't want people to know. They don't want the knowledge getting out there, man. They just want the masses to continuously being a good American citizen and accepting what's being presented to them. That's what they want. They don't want you asking questions, man. The same thing if you underneath Trump's banner, man. That's not I'm telling you, man, that's not going to lead you nowhere. That's going to lead you into that wall, and you're going to be running into that wall over and over again saying, "Yo, yeah, it's good for me. It's not going to kill me." But dude, it's not. It's not good for you, man, because it's going to continue running. You're going to continue running into that wall. These motherfuckers are going to continue running around in circles, man. They're going to continue running you around in circles. All this is just leading you back to the politics is a waste of fucking time door. Okay? That's all we're leading you to, you know? Because with all this stuff, you'll see really quick, man. You'll get snagged up in this fucking trap real quick. And that's why, you know, the minute you don't pick a side, that's when you're going to be public enemy number one. Okay? Listen, if you don't subscribe to any of this politics bullshit, listen to your heart, man. If it's not jiving with you, don't even waste your time. I'm telling you right now. Don't even waste your time, guys. That's gonna be that is a literal waste of time. Because this whole show that they're presenting to you guys, they're doing this while just continuously keeping you distracted, while these same sick fucks are flying pizza and hot dogs to islands and shit. Okay. So that's all you guys need to keep in mind, man. And you know, some of these idols, you know, so-called idols that you looking up to, man, like, you gotta take a second look at your boy LeBron James. Motherfuckers over there throwing up one-eyed symbolism before basketball games and shit. Like, come on, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's all about that Masonic symbolism. See, people don't know what that is. That's why these guys do that in front of everybody's face, and they don't realize it. They probably just think, "Oh yeah, he's just doing it. It's just a random symbol." That's what they want you to continue believing. You know what I mean? This is why people in the truther movement get they get fingers pointed at them. They get laughed at. Conspiracy theorists, nut job, out of this universe, man. That's why this is all the stuff they get paid as. They gotta add the out of this universe in there. To just make it seem so unlikely, man. I mean, look, anybody can come at you and make something seem totally unlikely. You know, it's all about just looking at the evidence and facts, though. What is the truth? What is actually there that you can physically, tangibly see in the evidence? The same reason why you get down to the bottom of whether the earth is a flat or a globe. Look, what's all the evidence? What, you know what I mean? Because if there's evidence for something, that's when it just continues stacking up and adding up. And you start putting puzzle pieces together and saying like, yeah, what is that? You know, you don't really think about this stuff. Because this is a mainstream narrative that has been fed down through generations, man. You don't even know if you're really reading correct history or not, because you're not gonna. There's things in school that you for damn sure ain't gonna learn by going to alternate sources, really digging deep on the internet and looking at, like, you know, people that have had, experiences with those events and experiences surrounding those events. Like, let's say, for instance, how they just want you to believe that, buildings collapse with planes flying into them and fires just causing the buildings to just, totally just fall down, right? When you got structural engineers that say that there's no possible way a fire can bring down a building of steel. Okay, structural engineers. It's the same reason why you got doctors. Why not? You want answers about the vaccine? Just go to the doctors. You got doctors saying it's not safe. Hey, that's red flag enough. But now you got structural engineers that build buildings. These guys build buildings. They are saying that there is no possible way a fire could cause that building to collapse the way they did. Just fires. I'm talking about, they just want you to believe fire. It's fire by itself. Same reason with the Great Chicago Fire. Back in the 19th century, I believe, around that time, they want you to believe that fire was able to bring down buildings that were made of brick. Just fire alone, bringing down brick-made buildings. By fire, though. It's all fire. Just fire alone, by itself. Good old fire. Now you mean to now you got to ask yourself, man. It's almost like the fucking big bad wolf trying to blow down a brick house with just blowing. How in the fuck is a fire going to break down a structure that is built of stone and masonry brick? Does that make sense? It's got to have some more power behind that, man. Just like more than just a plane crashing into a big ass fucking building like that made of tons of fucking steel. More than just fire is going to cause something like that to come crashing down. You may think that I'm speaking crazy, but just look it up, man. You'll find, look at the evidence. You'll be led to the same conclusions. A lot of people just want to write you off. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist and go back to eating cheeseburgers. But like, this is the thing you got to understand. A lot of times, again, the truth is unsettling because it's one of those things where you actually start fighting with yourself. You don't want to know the truth because it's scary, man. It's scary. It's very scary. But see, the more that the boogeyman is talked about, the more it's not going to be as intimidating. The true key players out there, what's really going on, you'll at the end of the day know that, there's nothing to be scared of. You know what I mean? That's why we talk about Lucifer, Samael, talk about these guys at the top, And that, we talk about how they're, the top guys, right? But, there's guys that are, even more top, okay? So, look, again, that's one thing you have to take into consideration. You know what I mean? The same people that want to cast an illusion and want to make you think that you're nothing and that you don't have any power are the same ones that really, truly, are just behind the scenes. They're cockroaches, man. They want to puppeteer from the shadows, thinking that you have a hold over them. You know what I mean? And they want to prevent people from finding the truth and digging into the truth. So guys, that's why we talk about Heavenly Father a lot on this channel at True Secret Nation. This is ultimately what we're all talking about, you know, and trying to get the message across out there that Heavenly Father exists and He's very real. Okay? That's the thing, man. And that is the truth. Okay? You can you know, brush it off and you could say, oh, you know, he's psycho, it's not real. But keep your mind open, good soul. Keep your mind open. Keep your mind open to new possibilities. Always be willing to keep your mind open to receive that good old knowledge. Okay? That's all I ask of you. That's all Father asks of you. Okay? That's why I say we a lot. Okay? And we want to help as many good, beautiful souls out there as we possibly can. You know, we want to spread the good news, spread the gospel. You know, the gospel is not this big scary boogeyman that Lucifer makes it out to be, because in fact, there's a lot of deception involved and a lot of smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know, it's really it's not easy to wade through, man. You know, you know, these dream sequences that you guys see in movies. Like for one, in Far From Home, there's this whole sequence where Spider-Man's trying to, like, you know, he's having this like psychological mental conundrum, and he's trying to wade through these smoke and mirrors illusion that Mysterio has set up for him. You know what I mean? And that's the best way I could describe it, you know. That's basically what it is, these dream sequences, you know. But, like, apply that to just, you know, real life in a way, you know. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors illusions, you know. A lot of things, you know, things that are told to us, guys, are not all of what it seems. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, when we delved back into World War II and found out that Hitler did not do all of this on his own, that he had help from the rich elite, American industrialists, right? That's when you start finding out, whoa here, partner, there's something that's not adding up, man. You don't learn that in school. Again, you don't learn that Henry Ford, you know what I'm saying? You already know what Ford is. One of the biggest car manufacturers in the world. Ford. Everybody knows what Ford is. Ford made Jeeps for Nazis back in around World War II. So in fact, this rich elite built the Nazi war machine. They played a part in it. The rich elite of America played a part in building the Nazi war machine of World War II. We're talking back in the 20th century, man. Ford. These motherfuckers manufactured vehicles for the Nazis to wage war. Those same vehicles were used to wage war on American soldiers that lost their lives, man. You see what this scummy shit is going on, dog? You got motherfucking American businessmen, American companies crafting this bullshit for other countries to kill their own people. Kill their own. That alone right there, man, should cause you to ask questions. What is going on? This is what I'm talking about, man. You have to do your homework and look this stuff up, man. If you're not aware of what's going on, these motherfuckers will just give you anything right out of their ass and they want you to accept it. Alright, that's definitely a big shock. You probably were like, why in the fuck is Ford Why in the fuck did they make vehicles that were used to kill American soldiers? That's an American business, though. So that's a conundrum right there, man. What's going on with that? Why in the hell is there an American railroad that was right through Auschwitz concentration camps? American railroads. These are American railroads, man. See, the individuals that were in Germany around that time fell for the same thing that a lot of people are under this hypnosis and that go through today, except on a more massive scale with these Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms. See, the propaganda back in Germany in those days, they were gassed up into believing that Hitler brought them up, you know what I mean, and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But see, even back then in the fucking 20th century, man, back in the mid-20th century, they were even using propaganda of the time to manipulate people to whatever story they wanted to believe, man. And the typical citizen isn't gonna know. The typical citizen ain't gonna know the puppeteering behind the scenes, man. Because these guys aren't gonna show their hand. They want to be hidden. They want to usher in this new world order, man. And see, right now, man, look into what the Anglo Alliance is. You know what I mean? Heard of that's a very interesting term I heard today. Anglo Alliance. The alliance on the Anglo Isles. That was a Battalion Wars reference, but you know. But seriously, look into that. America and Canada. It's one of the biggest superpowers to this day. Now, any other country probably has the capabilities of the same to wage war on a worldwide scale like the Anglo Alliance does. And I learned that and it's a documentary. It's really fucking deep. I mean, this is over 3 hours long. This goes all the way back from the 19th century, talking about railroad kings, talking about Rockefeller, Standard Oil, Andrew Carnegie, one of the main manufacturers of steel back in the 19th century, 1800s, right? It's really deep, man. This is really deep stuff. I mean, this is stuff that you're not gonna learn in Masonic school, okay? It was really deep. What was the name of it? Man, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and go on the computer here. We're gonna get the name of this documentary here, guys. It was really good. Give me 1 second. Okay. So it's the Hidden Reality YouTube channel. Okay. And it's a lot of good videos on there, but it's called Everything is a Rich Man's Trick. Everything is a Rich Man's Trick. Full documentary. 3 hours and 27 minutes long. Very, it's a tall order, but, if it's something it's really long, just watch it in parts. This shit is really deep. I'm talking, we go all the way, you go back in the past, man. You better get your DeLorean seatbelt strapped in. Because this shit goes all the way back to the 19th century, man. We're talking like, again, 1850s, 1800s, 19th century. Okay? And you'll start seeing a lot of the things that aren't adding up. That, you learned in school is not going to add up. And you'll see the guy does a really extremely good job. This isn't These are historians, man. These are historians that are putting this stuff together. Okay? And these are real true historians, man, that are like, we're talking real true historians that are trying to search for the truth, man, that don't just accept what reality they're given. They're the type of people that ask questions like, how do I know what version out of the whole different translations of the Bible, how do I know what definitive one is truly coming from Heavenly Father? That's what I'm talking about. Those individuals be asking questions like that. They really dig into it, man. They don't just accept the reality as it's given to them. You know what I mean? They will dig and ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you something. As a person that grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, I had to find out for myself. I didn't even know that was a Bible specifically that was crafted from them that they use. Okay, they can use that with whatever kind of narrative they want, and then they go ahead, that same Bible that they say oh, it's the Bible, right? But you'll see that stuff ain't adding up in across these Bibles, man. Stuff is being switched up, it's being changed up. Okay, that's the whole thing, man. It's being changed up. And that's the thing, man, with these guys with their own version of the Bible, they can just feed whatever they want. They can just feed you whatever story they want and whatever narrative, and then they go from there. They go from there. And you know what? Again, guys, it's really important to look into that documentary. Luciferian and pals don't want this information getting out. Okay? They don't want souls to be freed. So they want to continuously sending attacks at yours truly to make sure that this message doesn't get out. They think they're slick, right? It's all trying to play on the mind. This is what makes these witches so dangerous, man. Because a lot of times, again, let's bring it back to occult and witchcraft, right? It's the same idea, guys, of operating in the shadows and doing things and trying to get away with things in the shadows. Okay? They don't want you to believe that the occult exists so they can continuously doing their scummy shit in the background. Okay? So don't always point at somebody, ha ha, he's a fucking psycho. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, if you choose to do that, then that's your choice. I wish you the best, man. I truly do. But, if you still choose to listen, then, you won't be disappointed, man. Again, because we're not talking about this stuff to, put nobody down. We just call out evil as we see it. We don't join into it. We expose it. Thee shall not partake in such activities. Okay? End of story. Because it's not good. It's not good for your soul, man. This stuff, it rots you at a soul level. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of these witches, they like to, beautify themselves and put all this makeup on and all. Oh, I'm so beautiful, right? To cast the illusion that, they're good people and like, oh my God, it's so pretty to draw you in. But these individuals reek of death and decay in their spirit. They've corrupted themselves. They made the choice themselves, man. I mean, these people have like actively chosen, like, yeah, I want my soul to be corrupted. Like, I mean, I'm serious, man. They this is what they choose. You know what I mean? And that's why I say these shall not, partake in such activities, because, those individuals are a good example of what happens when you start delving down this really evil path, and then all of a sudden really messing yourself up at the soul level, guys. And then this is what the controllers of this world don't want people to take in consideration. They don't want people to ask themselves. They don't want people to keep their souls intact. And, they don't want people to believe that there's an afterlife. You know what I mean? They don't want people to believe in these things that they have conditioned. They want you to believe in, oh yeah, science and come from monkeys and wrap it up and that's call it a day. You know what I mean? Like, don't settle for just that, man. You know what I mean? Always be asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what you could have been told your entire life here on Father's beautifully created planet, and you may have been lied to the whole time, man. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna keep it under an hour today. You know what I'm saying? But I hope you guys had a beautiful day, man. You know, uh, I love coming on here and shooting the shit with you guys. Again, if you choose to point fingers and say he's a psycho nut job, hey, get your 5 minutes of fame, your laughs or whatever. Hope you have a great day. You know what I'm saying? But if good soul, if whatever I said has resonated with you, that is amazing. All right. We welcome you with open arms here. True Secret Nation. Okay. True Secret Nation is a wonderful thing. We come over here, me and Father spread love all throughout in every corner of the world here, and to reach out to any positive soul that is looking for answers. You know what I mean? That has a lot of good in their heart, that that are just asking themselves, what the fuck is going on? That's all, man. So, a lot of you individuals be thinking like, oh my God, World War III, is that possible, man? In a way, guys, spiritually, that's basically what it is, man. Fallen ones are all over the place. You know what I mean? That's what we call them. The fallen ones. Okay. Fallen angels. You know what I'm saying? And again, we talk about technology and Father's kingdom. Also got to be aware of fallen one technology too. Okay. And again, you may be laughing like, this guy is a fucking nut job, right? Just keep in mind, when you have those nuts busted, man, it's that initial not accepting it, right? Gotta have the nuts busted. Because it's some, it's a gobsmack, man. Because again, you're told this stuff all your life, and they accept you and they want you to just believe what you're told. You know what I mean? But guys, we're gonna, we're wrapping it up here. And again, good soul, I hope you listen to what I said, and take it into consideration. Try to, spread love and positivity when you can. Always try to, elevate yourself. Don't settle for just whatever you're told. You know what I'm saying? So, Father, I thank you so much for, guiding me through and being able to, really connect with you, good soul. So, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful, good day. And, remember, stay vigilant of those wolves in sheep's clothing. All right? And thanks for stopping by True Secret Nation. Thanks for listening to what, yours truly has to say. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. All right? Much love, and I wish you nothing but positivity and love, good soul. You have a wonderful, blessed day. This is Truth Seeker signing out of Truth Seeker Nation. Love you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye.